Hello everyone. Welcome to the Crystaly Recapped channel. 4% of the population has superpowers. Most of them live below the poverty line and are actively caught by the police. The day people received their powers, they tried to help society, but then came the automation of production. The demand for workers with superpowers began to fall. The country is flooded with drugs that make superhumans out of cerebrospinal fluid. Crime is only growing. The authorities had to develop watchdogs, but they turned out to be so cruel that they tried to ban them and put other robot dogs in their place. One of them, named Connor, is released from prison. After 6 months, the robot dog is shown to the public. Garrett is watching. It is his gang that develops the drugs. The courier asks Garrett for a promotion, but he makes it clear that he is not interested. The officer says that he and the other residents want to live in a safe neighborhood. The security guards have been overly aggressive, but he promises it won't happen again. Then he demonstrates the dog's capabilities. They are designed exclusively for detention and are not capable of harming humans. If the dog sees a citizen as an offender, he has to raise his hands and the dog will not touch him. There is a girl in the crowd named Pavani who has superpowers, and the dog notices this immediately. Late at night, the courier finds the place where the gang keeps the money. When everyone is gone, he breaks into the tank. The police notice the noise, and the courier has to hide. It turns out that the money was meant for the cops, and they don't like the fact that the tank is empty. Garrett has to pay for it. The courier tries to hide by using a disguise, but the officer still notices him. The courier starts running away, forcing the officer to let the dog out. Hiding in the building, the man uses his disguise again. The dog scans the building completely and does not find the man. A few minutes later, he goes outside and accidentally runs into the dog. The dog fires a stun gun, and the officer with the call sign King gives the order. The courier is injected with a special substance, and his abilities go out of control, after which his heart stops. A girl from the party notices this. The dog pulls out another syringe and attacks. A new day dawns. Connor goes to work as a janitor. Davis approaches him and gives him his business card in case he needs help. The king wants to know what happened to the dog. They manage to restore the last frame, but no one knows how she could have destroyed the dog, because it is protected from the effects of electrical power. Connor accidentally finds Pavone and gives her to Minnie. The girl tells them what happened last night, but their conversation is interrupted by the police. Mina asks them to hide Pavone. The whole house is surrounded, but Connor manages to get the girl out, even though his face is caught on camera. King comes to Garrett, and since he is Connor's former friend, he asks him to help him find him. Connor took Pavone to his home and offered to take food from the refrigerator, but there was only mustard. The news of Pavone's disappearance and the death of her brother is broadcast on television. The king pretends to be a holy man who works for the people. Pavone realizes that he is a liar, and this awakens her superpowers. Connor tries to turn off the TV, but the remote doesn't work. Suddenly, she senses robots approaching. Connor is a 5th-level electrician, so not only a police team with a dog, but also 2 security guards are sent to arrest him. They try to kill the duo, but Connor uses his power, against which even the guards are powerless. At this point, Pavone destroys the flying robot. Connor doesn't understand how they were found, so he comes to Garrett and asks him to take his girlfriend out of the city. Garrett admits that he knows about the night's incident. It turns out that she managed to break the dog. There are very few people like that, and the fact that his gang made a deal with the police. Garrett is going to erase her memory and use Pavone for his own purposes, otherwise they will just kill her. Connor offers the girl to erase one memory, and the cops will leave them alone. She agrees, but only if Connor goes with her. Later, they come to a woman who can erase memories. Pavone is asked to remember all the happy moments with her brother and the day he died. Their goal is to erase all memories of their brother. Connor tries to interrupt the ritual, but is pushed against the wall. Fire breaks through the pipe, and the room fills with water. Pavone wakes up and Connor can now use his power, but he doesn't kill them. The duo comes to Mina and asks for her car. The robot manages to find the car. The king orders the police to get out and then asks them to turn off the drones and send the coordinates to Garrett. In case Garrett fails to kill them, security is sent to the area. The gang puts Trinity on the ground. Connor tries to convey that they are just pawns in the hands of the police. Garrett asks Connor to stand down, but Connor covers the girl with his body, so Garrett cannot pull the trigger. The guards come into play. They immediately kill several of the superhumans and beat Mina, but her skin is very strong. Realizing that there is no other way out, she asks the survivors to run away, and she tries to detain the guards. Late at night, they arrive at an abandoned shelter. An argument starts between Connor and Garrett, but Pavone asks them to stop. Only by working together can they survive. Connor wants to escape to another part of the country, but Pavone is sure that it makes no sense and they will be found anyway. A new day dawns. Garrett notices that Davis has entered the house. He also wants to kill the king, but he has too much power. Pavone suggests telling the world about the king's crimes. A robot dog will help them do this, and it will record everything that happens. Using Pavone's power, he will be able to transfer the data to another hard disk. Then they arrive at the king's house and introduce themselves as employees of the department. His wife explains that he is not at home right now, but they can wait in the living room. A few minutes later, the king returns. She asks him why he did not warn her about the meeting, but the king does not understand what she is talking about. They try to play along. At this time, Pavone breaks the dog. The workers notice this and try to call the king, but Garrett makes it clear that he is not supposed to answer the phone. They then call the home phone. When his wife comes out of the room, the king tries to kill Garrett with his power. This makes Garrett laugh because people who hide their powers forget how to use them. No one in the king's family knows that he has power, but Garrett is not going to kill him. While they were talking, Pavone stole a dog, and a police unit is sent to find her. Garrett turns out to be a traitor. He doesn't want to get rid of the king, he wants control. Garrett brings the remains of the robot to the king and hints that they have all the video recordings. However, the king doesn't care, and he impales Garrett. An assault on the building begins. Garrett's men are forced to give Connor the data storage. They break into the apartment. Connor attacks with an electric shock, but the shields absorb the blow. Another man sets fire to the floor, but a dog extinguishes the flames. A fight breaks out, and to survive, the king uses his power again and pulls the trigger. The duo is attacked by the dog. Connor's attacks do no damage, and the robot tries to inject the substance. In his desire to survive, Connor awakens all his powers, but this only restarts the dog, and it injects the syringe. Pavone doesn't have time to grab the robot and pulls the syringe out so that Connor doesn't get the full dose. The king's right hand enters the corridor. The dog manages to neutralize the man, but he manages to shoot and hits Pavone. Connor carries the girl outside, and she spreads the dog's memory with her last strength on all television programs. King tries to kill the girl, but Garrett stops him by force. Connor returns to his job as a janitor, and Pavone manages to survive. This is the end of the movie. That's all for today. Subscribe and like if you want more videos like this.